How ready are you to receive? This is such an important question, and one that we must ask in this series of embodied radiance activations. We are on day 13 right now, so super happy to be offering this series to you live every day here on IG. And for those of you who are tuning in every day, it's been so great to see you all. Today's topic is about receivership. And we've been building up to this day and the final day, which will happen soon, because every single nugget that I've dropped over these last weeks on how to cultivate your radiance, your glow, this magnetic quality that exudes from the inside out, this devotion of practice of having a clear, healthy body where energy is flowing, to be able to welcome more pleasure, to be able to move your emotions, to step into self-leadership. Like all of these pillars that I've been talking about regarding feminine radiance doesn't mean anything, actually, or it doesn't mean much if we don't do what I'm going to talk about today. And it is about your capacity to receive. So women especially, I find, have a real challenge with knowing how to receive. It's often really easy and almost natural for us to give and give and give, right? To prioritize everybody before ourselves. And there is some moments in life, like new mamas, for example, where this is really true, like where your baby needs you and there is a human being to absolutely prioritize over your needs in that moment. However, it doesn't need to be an all the time thing. And if we're not learning how to also give ourselves time to receive from ourselves, from loved ones, from our experiences, by choosing the importance of valuing ourselves and our time, then what's going to end up happening is we're going to go into depletion mode. And radiant women are not depleted. When we're depleted, we often feel exhausted, apathetic, sometimes even resentful of those who are around us. And if you catch yourself kind of judging other people or feeling like resentful, angry, irritated because other people are needing things from you, then I highly recommend you go back and watch the day that I spoke about boundaries and resentment. Because when we start to do a lot of things for other people, and when it's not actually coming from the natural overflow of what we have inside, then we're only ever giving from an empty tank, and that only leads to resentment. So on this day 13 of feminine embodied radiance activations, I want to inspire you to be able to receive more, to actually open up your channels to receive those very things that you might be actively wanting to call in or to manifest. Yesterday, we spoke about feminine magnetism and what it is to cultivate this energy from inside you that magnetizes, that draws in people, experiences, opportunities that you most desire. And it always starts with cultivating your own frequency first. Your vibration is what is going to resonate or not resonate with the world around you. So we are always in active communication, whether it's verbally or energetically. But we can also do all the work around visioning, around calling in that which we want, around manifesting. But there's going to be a huge gap if you're not also open to receiving. Because then what happens is that you can say, I want a man who can be super present and is emotionally available. I want, a job where I can learn and grow and expand. I want, a beautiful home in nature, whatever it is. You can want those things, but when the very thing, that man, that opportunity shows up on your doorstep, You might not even recognize it as such to be able to receive it. And I often see this in relationships where I work with the woman, in a process like UnTamed or Yoni Temple or private coaching or something. And we've gone on a deep dive journey where I've gotten to know a woman pretty well from the inside out, the things that she desires, the things that she fears, all of it. And many times when women have a relationship, then there's this desire that's spoken around, well, I wish that my partner could also do this with me. Or I wish that I can call in a man that could do this work with me. Where are all the good available men in the world, right? And then I end up doing couples coaching with the woman that I've worked with and their man. And more often than not, something fascinating appears, which is that the man is actually fully present, ready to connect, to learn, to grow. And maybe it's taken a lot to show up into this moment. I can get that. I know that nothing exists in a vacuum or as a single point in time. But yet what I often see is that even when he is fully there, present in this moment, it's really difficult for the woman to receive, to even look her partner in the eye, to feel the love that is here, the willingness that this person comes with. And there can be so much of a block from fear, from past disappointments, from not being able to receive the love that is actually here in this moment. So our capacity to receive is a really important quality of feminine radiance, because this is what allows us to receive energy into our body, to be able to receive love, appreciation, celebrations, so that we are living life with a full cup. So that when you walk out into the world and you are giving, it is from a place of overflow, not from overwhelm, not from needing others to fill our cup, but because we've opened the door or the portal to be able to receive. So in today's activation, what the invitation is to really take a look, and you can journal about this or go for a walk in nature or dance or move, however you get into your body and listen to your heart, as to what it is that you are ready to receive. Like really ready. Because it can be easy to say, I want the relationship of my dreams, or I want to make $1 million this year, or I want to whatever. And they're all valid, but are you really ready to receive that? And are you ready to show up for that? So receiving also means that we open up the possibility that the thing that we most desire may or may not show up exactly in the way that we thought it would. Right? So to give you an example, in my love relationship with Amir, getting in a relationship was the last thing that I thought would happen in my life at the moment that Amir and I met. This was 8 years ago. We just had our 8-year anniversary, by the way. Super, super in love. So grateful for this man. So grateful for the work that we both put in to learning how to give and receive. And at that point in time, I was in Bali. I was in between leading 2 retreats. I had I was separating from my ex-partner. We hadn't fully moved apart yet, but we knew that we were going to separate, but I hadn't really made that final decision that I was going to go. So here I am in Bali, contemplating in between my 2 retreats that I'm leading, doing a silent meditation retreat, like Vipassana in the Balinese jungle. I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I need to learn how to date myself. I need to be single. I need to be just me and Mother Nature, nothing else. And I was so set on doing this. And a few days before I was like made the decision to go on this retreat, the silent retreat, I met Amir. And it was completely this kind of serendipitous moment. I'll share a full story another day, but short story right now is essentially we were both walking out to the parking lot of the Bali Spirit Festival, and we kind of fell in step, you know. And he had this key that he was looking at in his hand, and I hadn't even noticed that he was looking at this key, but we had just kind of fallen in step together, and I needed a ride or a taxi or something back into town, so I just turned to him and said, hey, you know, I'm looking for a taxi into town. Are you looking for one too? Like, do you want to grab a ride together? And I don't know if he even looked at me, to be honest, but I do remember him looking at this key in his hand. And he said, well, actually, I have a scooter, like I have a motorbike that he rented, but I lost my key earlier today. And this is a festival with thousands of people, like a dozen stages, multiple exits, like full. So he's like, so I lost my key earlier this morning, but the lost and found was closed and I can't find it anywhere in my bag. So I'm just walking out to where my motorbike is parked because I thought maybe I left the key in the motorbike. But, you know, as I was walking up, I looked up and I saw this Balinese man, like just hold up the single key. And so I went up to this man and asked him, you know, is this my key? Did you find this? And he didn't speak a lick of English and just handed this key over to Amir. So Amir went, okay, well, I don't know if this is my key or not. Like, it's a rental. I don't know what the key looks like. So anyways, here we are in this moment. And he says, well, if this is my key and the motorbike starts, then I'll drive you home. And if it doesn't, then I remember him saying, well, you're shit out of luck. He remembers saying, okay, we'll find a way into town together. But lo and behold, we walk to the motorbike, and of course, you know, he turns the key and the motorbike starts, and he's like, okay, I guess I'm driving you home. And that's how our love story began. But I remember, you know, feeling in my past relationship that I was leaving, like, I want to be with a man where I'm going to have fun with him, where he's emotionally available, where he's present, where he's sexy, like where I can come alive and like really share life with this person. And it took me 5 days. Amir remembers these 5 long, extended days, you know, where I just wasn't on the fence about whether or not I wanted to even date him because I was so set, you know, on having this solo retreat. And even though I'm all about solo retreats, by the way, I'm all about dating yourself, like super, super important. I recognize now in this moment that the very human, actually, that I was calling into my life had showed up, just not at the time that I had imagined, not in the way that I had imagined. And yet, you know, could I be open to receiving what is here? And after, you know, a few days and hang out with some friends, like we had one dinner one night where Amir is hilarious. So he just made me laugh, like so hard all night, you know, and he was like helping me to find flights and like doing this stuff. He put on this funny accent, like he's just like hilarious. And I laughed more than I had for so long. And it was then that this switch happened. And as he dropped me off, you know, we shared a beautiful kiss and I was like, I'm going to come over. And, you know, 8 years later, here we are. But I shared this story because many times when we say that we want to receive something, we often feel like it has to look exactly the way that I imagined it would. And many times, because life is funny this way, it might not show up in the exact timing or packaging that you imagined. So how open and how ready are you to receive when love, when abundance, when joy, when possibility shows up at your doorstep? Or you fall in step with them as you walk. How open are you to receiving when an invitation comes up? You know, like a friend says, hey, you know, I checked out this event. Alice is having Radiance retreat this Sunday. Like, would you want to come? You're like, oh, I've been wanting to come alive and I've been wanting to feel more feminine in my body and I've been wanting all these things, but no, you know, too much is going on in my life. You know, too busy, got too many other priorities. No. And yet it's like right here, the thing that you said that you want. You want to feel more alive, more juicy, more radiant, more feminine, have a community of women. You want more like-minded tribe. You want to be able to enjoy like a gorgeous day where you're prioritizing yourself, right? Like all the things are here, and yet it's just like your razor tunnel vision is like not the right time, not the right place, and then you're not even able to receive the opportunities that are here right now. And this can happen with so many different things, right? Relationships, work, travel, anything that you are choosing to not prioritize in your life, that you're actually saying, I want to receive more of this. When somebody offers to support, how able are you to actually receive their support? How able are you to ask for help when you need? Are you able to receive that when somebody gives it to you? So this is really that the transmission of today. We can do all of the work of the last 13 days, but if you're not open to receiving, then it's just like a leaky bucket. So the inspiration today really is receive, receive, receive. As you walk around your day or your next days, notice even the little moments of feeling like, oh wow, there's a moment to receive something. Like to receive a smile from a stranger on the street, to really be in gratitude when, you know, a beloved makes you a cup of tea in the morning and receive the love of that. To, this might sound silly, but like to like find change in your pocket and be like, oh right, I wanted to call in abundance. Here it is, like $5, you know, like, can you receive that? It's a practice of receiving. And when we learn how to do that, let me tell you, like your well is going to be filled so much from the small things and the big things. And then when we come from this place of being able to receive, to be able to fill our cups, to be an overflow, then the giving and the sharing and the really being fully radiantly who you are is a natural byproduct. You don't even have to think about it because you're so well resourced. One more little place, and then for today would be pleasure. So in the bedroom as well, whether you are in the bedroom with yourself or wherever you are, the couch, doesn't matter, but like self-pleasure with you or with a partner, like how comfortable are you in receiving? Or are you always thinking about, okay, now it's time to reciprocate, or now I need to give back, or oh my God, it's been this much time, and am I okay? Like that's not being in receiving, right? And it's actually not that fun for the person that you're with either, because they want you to receive, right? That's part of the joy and the beauty and the turn on of being in intimacy together. So that's a whole other topic. We can share more about that another day, but just another place for you to contemplate how ready, how open are you to receiving? Okay, so for today, pop into the comments anything that was like a juicy tidbit for you, that was an aha moment, or if you want to anchor in your receiving practice, then just write into the comments, like you're going to look for receive, like how are you going to receive today? Like where? And you're going to look, like feel and receive love through nature, through your relationships, through prioritizing yourself by choosing something that fills your cup, by like actually blocking off a spot in your calendar where you're like, hey, this is time for me to receive self-care, self-love. Really prioritize it, because life will always happen. There's going to be a million things, you know, on your to-do list. I just have like this whole notebook of stuff that will always take priority over yourself unless you choose otherwise. And that takes a conscious action to do that. So there you go. If you do want to make space for a Feminine Radiance retreat in Calgary, I'm going to fly there. I'm going to hop on a plane tomorrow. And this Sunday, we've got an absolutely exquisite day where you get to be there and you get to practice all of these radiance activations that I've been sharing, including your capacity to receive. You're going to feel so nourished, so resourced, lit up, inspired from this radiance day that you're going to move out into the world with a full overflowing cup. So I'm so excited to be sharing this. We've got space for a few more women. It's going to be like, yeah, a beautiful retreat. If you've been to Wild Women Gathering before, by the way, it's not like hundreds of people. This one's going to be much more intimate. There's like 30 35 spots total. So make sure that you come if you want to have lunch with me and the Radiance sisters. So that's available. If you want to receive more wealth, abundance by making money, doing what you love, Alchemy Mastermind starts in May. I'm doing like a little mini group, curated group of 4 to 6 women where we're really going to dive in. You're going to get the best of one-on-one and group coaching with me to up-level your soul business. So if you're ready to receive more wealth into your life, DM or comment Alchemy, and I'll send you over the details. And also, if you are a woman or a couple who's really ready to receive more love into your life, I've got 2 spaces for private coaching starting in May. And if you want more details on that, just send me a DM. Like, you can DM coaching and I will send you the details on that as well. Yes? Okay, cool. If you've been commenting every day with your aha moments, remember you're also entered to in a draw to win that one-on-one coaching session with me or a Radiance ticket. So make sure that you do that. We're going to do the draw on Friday. And one last thing is that tomorrow at this regularly scheduled time for IG Live, I'm actually going to be on a plane. So we're going to postpone it by 2 hours. I'm going to send an email out for those who are on my email list, and we'll post a little thing in the stories, but it'll be 2 hours later. So that means it's going to be 10:30 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time, 6:30 p.m. Central Europe time. Okay, so I'll see you here, not tomorrow, but the next day. It's all in an email. I'll write this all down. That was confusing. And we'll see you here for one last and final day. It is going to be a Q&A session. So if you've got any Qs, just pop them into the comments, send me a DM, and I'll be sure to respond to those as well. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.